Hello, it's New Thought Talk. I'm your host, the Reverend Steve Walling from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera. And I have a couple young ladies as my guests today. We're going to be talking about younger people and being involved in New Thought, Old Thought, and just some of the societal issues that the younger generation relates to in a spiritual sort of way. So my guests this morning are Jessica Knotts, and she is a college student, and she sits on the board for a local theater, and Stephanie Wilson, she works for the Fresno Airport. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to have you here. So the first thing is, let's start with, tell me a little bit about your background, Stephanie. You came from a Catholic background.
Yes, correct. My mother's from South America, which is, in South America and Chile, predominantly Catholic.
Right.
And then my father comes from an Italian family, predominantly Catholic.
Okay.
And my parents raised me very Catholic. We actually went my whole life traveling to Italy, France, Montreal, and staying in nun convents. So I actually had the experience of staying with them and being able to live with them. And I went through the process, and probably about 18, I decided that Catholicism wasn't necessarily the path that I wanted to lead.
But you've been pretty immersed in it up until that point.
Absolutely. I've had a lot of experience. But
Right.
being able to travel as well, I've also been able to see other ideas out there, other religious ideas. And
Now, let me ask you, how's your folks deal with that? Are they?
my family, it's funny. My parents are very open-minded, and they believe that as long as you believe in something that makes you a better person and encourages you to do better, then it's okay. So they're pretty great about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesse, tell us a little bit about your background.
Spiritually, very eclectic.
Yeah.
Open-minded. I went to Sunday school. I did youth groups. A little bit of New Age, a little bit of Native American, a little bit of whatever kind of resonated on a very spiritual level with my family. So super open, and New Thought really resonates with me as an adult coming from that background. Honestly, it was kind of like I was filtered into it because I was given so many different ideas, thought process on finding my own spiritual path that it led me right here, which takes all spiritual paths and all positive living experiences and sharing love, which was the basis of everything I grew up with spiritually.
Okay, well, thank you. The thing is, and one of the reasons why I wanted you two on the show today, the demographics within organized religion are undergoing some radical changes. One, people that have been regular churchgoers are leaving, and two, the younger generation, the so-called millennial generation, they're not showing up. Right. And everybody's running around, well, how are we going to pull these people in? How are we going to get our millennials through the door? And I've heard people talk about, social issue, being more socially conscious, and, the millennials not wanting to buy into what I'll call old thought dogma, all that sort of stuff. And we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about the concepts that we focus on in New Thought. But in your friends, in your social circles and stuff, Stephanie, how do you you have friends that are very socially or spiritually active? Do they, participate in the church experience on any way?
That's actually something that I've come to realize as an adult, is coming from a Catholic background. I had a lot of Catholic friends, and then growing up and realizing that there's more out there. But what I realized more with our generation is that people really, when you ask them, they're like, oh, I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. Because with them, it's more important to have a connection with God and that lifestyle rather than follow an organized religion. So I think a lot of people are they try to find the spirituality through, being good, as you say, or living a positive life and trying to really reflect that.
Jessica, how about you? Your circle, I know you're friends, so some of the circle of friends is still the same, but you also, through the arts community, you've got a a broader group of friends or a different group of friends. What do you see in your circle, so to speak, as far as things of a spiritual nature and people wanting to or not wanting to? Do we want to watch the game on Sunday, sleep in, have a cup of coffee,
Right.
Super Soul Oprah, or do we want to get out and go participate in something?
I would say, honestly, my circle of friends is about 50-50 on that.
Yeah.
But all of them seem to have a lot of new thought thinking and lifestyles. And I think the main thing that really resonates, I hate using that word over and over again, but something really big with the millennials, as you call them, individuality. It's all about individuality, being your own person, making your own way in life, succeeding on your own 2 feet. It's all this. And honestly, I think there's a market there, because all of this new thought is creating your own happiness, creating your own.
Well, yeah, in what I will call old thought, we talk a lot, or they talk a lot about the old paradigm, the Christianity of the Middle Ages that has moved into the modern time, so to speak. Science has come along and kind of had a conflict with that. Various things within our understanding has had conflicts with old thought. And people are looking at that going, one, I don't feel like I need to live my life as I'm a guilty person before I've ever done anything. And you're right, talking about individuality. I want to be seen and appreciated, and I don't want to use the word judge, but I'm going to use it at this point, judged on the who that I am, the whatever. And in New Thought, as we address these issues, these are really old issues.
Right.
You can see, you look back in very ancient times, but they were kind of down. They were below the surface, so to speak. But today, with what's going on in the world, and there's a lot of upheaval and stuff, some people are looking for a spiritual connection, but they don't want to go back to that.
Right.
They're not necessarily aware of other options.
Right.
So.
Jessica, now you've been associated with religious science for a while. When you first got in, connected with it, what were your thoughts on that?
Oh, I thought it was genius, and at the same time, I didn't understand why everybody didn't just get it. Why it wasn't just, wow, like that's and it's provable everywhere in life. Everyone and every human and you think a certain thought pattern, and that's what your life resembles. It's kind of like, the people you hang out with or who you're judged by. Well, the thoughts you think are what your life is, and that was the very first thing because I could see that everywhere. So I went, this is immediately
And you start to
something
see it
that I
working.
can.
Yeah.
Right. There's
What the
almost
biggest-
it's immediate
Yeah.
proof. It's
Convince-
immediate
yeah,
proof.
convince.
I can see it everywhere around me. That that's exactly what it is. And the second was that you can literally come from the most staunch Christian organized religious background, or you can come from an atheist background, and still this works. Still this is a beautiful way of life. Still this is.
Because it shows
Proven.
you have the power
Yeah.
to change your reality. And I think, Jesse's the one who introduced this to me.
Right.
And at first it was, okay, it was a conscious effort every single day. Okay, I gotta think positive, I gotta do this. And every single day I'd hang out with Jesse and we'd talk and she'd convince me, and okay. And, sometimes you forget. So you'd have to go back. But I've seen my life change. I see how, when you really focus on you and your reality and your positivity and the love you give out without expecting anything in return, you see how things start working out. Like we were talking today in the car. The minute you let things go, things start falling into place. And I think, I'm very lucky to have Jessica to explain this to me because, like I said, I was from a Catholic family and I didn't have too many other people giving me other options.
And that brings me to the next question, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this. I'll give you the question, then we're going to go to the break. The next question is, okay, you both have found New Thought, religious science in particular. You're both applying it in your life. You're both seeing results. Why isn't the rest of the world in your generation aware of what's going on? And I'll participate in that because there's a whole bunch of people out there that have no clue. All right? So we're going to take our break and we're going to hit that topic when we come back. We'll see you then.
The Exeter Chamber of Commerce invites you to come on over to the beautiful city of Exeter. To learn more about Exeter, visit exeterchamber.com.
Looking for work? Tired of minimum wage? For as low as $200, become certified as a forklift driver at the Certified Forklift Training Center. Call 559-325-8097 or visit cftc.net.
Full Circle Brewing Company, Fresno's unique craft brewery and eclectic entertainment venue.
When in Horseville, visit the Pascagoula Grill off of Highway 41, just 40 minutes north of Fresno. Horseville Miners Grill is located in historical village. HorseGoldMinersGrill.com.
Looking for a travel agent? Look no further. Bianca Echeveste can make your travel dream a reality, even on a budget. Visit ilovemytravelbiz.com or call Bianca at 559-284-2217.
Letty Pingatori focuses on the unique needs of each client. Call Letty if you need a realtor in the Central California area. Looking outside the CenCal area, Letty will refer you to the best Keller Williams agent nearest you. Letty Pingatori, Realtor Extraordinaire.
Hiring great talent is essential to your business. However, it's also time-consuming, and time is money. Contact Wolf Recruiting of Fresno and gain access to candidates you will not find on the open job market. Candidates through Wolf Recruiting are considered the best of the best. Why? Because they're gainfully employed. Whether it's technology, accounting, sales, or general administration, Wolf Recruiting's versatile background brings a solid foundation to confidentially identifying the very best talent. Call Wolf Recruiting at 877-589-9441 or find us on the web at wolfrecruiting.com.
If you're in the ag business, you need a pet tiger on your payroll. Visit TigerJill.com to learn more about Orange Enterprises' complete payroll tracking system, Pet Tiger.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to New Thought Talk. I'm talking with a couple of young ladies about the younger generation in New Thought. Again, this is Jessica Knotts and what's Stephanie Wilson. Anyway, welcome again to the show. Right as we went to the break, I asked you the question about, what question did I ask you? No, I asked you about, why don't people, and particularly younger people, know more about this or are aware of it or, have access to it. And what I want to do is open up the segment. In the early days of New Thought, latter part of the 19th century, early part of the 20th century, a lot of the ideas that we teach were new. They were old, but they were new to society. And over the years, they have been incorporated in, and they have actually become part of mainstream society. But a lot of people have no clue that there really is there's a place where they can go and express their spirituality in this way, in a positive way, in a creative way, making their connection with however you choose to identify the God thing, whether it's a principle, an essence, or, whether you want to call it George or Goddess or Guy, it doesn't make any difference. But people don't know. And particularly in the younger generations, because there's like this divide. At some point they moved away from their old, the old paradigm, and they didn't want to get back. But a lot of them, like you were saying earlier, Stephanie, there's a spiritual component, and I believe and we teach that there's an urge, a spiritual urge within us that is trying to express itself. And so, in your groups, what's the common knowledge, if you will, of having a place to go, a spiritual place to go to learn and to incorporate this? Jesse?
Church.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's maybe even the largest factor in more young people not coming into the centers, the Science of Mind centers, the New Thought groups, anything that's available, because when you think spiritual gathering, we think church,
Right.
and we think Sunday school, and we think either, the minister up there screaming about hellfire, or the Sunday school teacher teaching you the 10 Commandments and what you shouldn't be doing, and and it's very confining, and it brings back those old feelings of, and the whole reasons you chose to walk away from or change your ideas on your own spirituality. So I think that maybe just getting the word out there more, maybe with a younger voice, or even, let me tell you, YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube, some of those centers out there should maybe get on YouTube and
Actually,
post their stuff so that we can see that it's not I mean,
I 100% agree. I think
Yeah.
that's actually one of my biggest fears of even stepping back into a center or a church is that, some of my memories from Catholic church are, standing, kneel, sitting, and then it was the ladies in front of me turning around, giving us mean looks because my mom and I would laugh, because to us, of course, it's church and it's a serious place, but, we have,
should be
we could-
joy
Yes,
and love and
absolutely.
happiness
Right.
and brightness.
And I think that's she put it. I mean, for me, that's why I haven't stepped in anywhere since I've been to Catholic church, because I don't want to necessarily feel trapped or I can't get out or judged, and I think that's what the misconception. Like here, it's open. It's all about love, and just because you go
But without
once doesn't
coming,
mean
you
to
don't.
go
Yeah.
every
and,
week.
And what about when we say the G word, when I talk about God? I mean, how does that, resonate with you, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, with me, it is something that, I mean, it's a confusing subject. I mean, because like I said, I'm more spiritual. I believe in it, but it's one of those things that it comes with pressure.
Yeah.
It comes with a certain pressure of a certain way to be and a certain thing to do. Like you said, to feel guilty without really doing anything.
The old God concept.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And
The
I
guy
think
with the
that's what
the
we
guy
know.
with the beard and the
Yes,
long white
and
hair.
that's- At least that's what I picture
Yeah.
immediately. And
Yeah.
that's kind of my absolutely.
And how do you, as a younger spiritual seeking individual, step out of that old paradigm? How does that, can you make that transition easily, or are you still kind of, is it a back and forth struggle?
Yeah, truthfully, I think with your friends, I think Jessica also said a very good point. If you have younger people, express it to other younger people. I know by Jessica telling me, it's interested me. And I haven't made, certain leaps, but the more I'm interested, and I research and I'm looking into it. But I'm still, it is still, like you said, I still have that fear, I guess, of jumping into a religion.
Back in the earlier days when Ernest Holmes was still alive, and he had a TV show that he used to do, and of course he had his Sunday programs that he did, but he often started out with the phrase, there is a power and a presence for good in the universe that you can use when you learn how to use it, and it is within you. Now when I say that, how does that feel to you?
Oh, empowering.
Warm and fuzzy.
Absolutely. I feel like I have all the tools to succeed in my life as just by having
You
it for myself.
don't feel like maybe I'm talking out there somewhere?
No, it makes and
It
and I
makes
think
a lot of
with
sense.
us at least, and with especially
younger
younger generation,
generation, yeah.
just the way that's phrased, there is a power and a presence for good. That is not a here's an outline, and if it's not this exact outline, then it's
Or
just
if you don't follow
there's-
this way, this God's
Yeah.
way, you will be.
There's something, someone.
And I think
it
a lot
out
of
there.
our generation, at least with my friends and I, motivational quotes are, big, and,
Oh,
and
we love
we
'em.
talk
Love
about
'em.
that, and it's all about the power within you. And I think, throughout growing, I'm 25, so growing up, I'm really starting to realize that it really is within me, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. And my happiness is all about what how I project
What
it.
you put into it,
Exactly.
what we
Yeah.
put into
What we
it.
put in.
Our happiness is about only how much we put into it.
I'm impressed. That's pretty good. So, you see this out there, and how do we, the bigger New Thought churches, the bigger centers, they have programs for younger adults, and they provide a lot of things. But what about for the smaller centers and churches that, oftentimes the demographics are, we got a lot of gray-haired people and not a whole lot of younger people, and you come into that as a younger person. Now, what they're speaking resonates with you, but what you're seeing and what's, available to you, it may be a little bit, there may be a little bit lacking. How do the smaller centers that have this older demographic reach the younger people and keep them involved and interested where they want to come back?
I think a nice place to start, honestly, would be, I mentioned before, but YouTube and even Facebook. That is our generation. That's what the kids
And
now,
Instagram and
especially
Twitter.
our age, younger even, down to 18, they're raised with the internet and with a cell phone in their hand. And it is everywhere on Twitter, Snapchat,
Instagram.
YouTube, Instagram, all of those things, and they're very simple. And you just sit at a computer. Anyone at the center can sit at a computer, and you have your center's space for that. And things like Stephanie said, like we are a generation that loves inspirational quotes.
Yeah.
We love them, and there are so many in music, anything in the arts. Really, our generation really seems to.
But I think what you said is, or what you were saying earlier, what resonated with us is perfect. I think if you even just say that, I think when it does talk or concentrate more on religious and like the word God, like you were saying, I think younger people kind of get a little bit scared if they're not too informed. But I think with more information out there, when you really show what you guys are about, I think more people would definitely be interested. And you guys are in Madeira, so
Yeah, my center's in Madeira, right.
And and unfortunately too, when you see kids can't go to church by themselves, even if they wanted to, and they did not necessarily agree. So that's why you can't see too, because they follow their parents, whatever
Right.
their parents want to do. So reaching out too to to the people with kids, and it'd be great to try to get them involved, have kid activities, maybe a movie night, have them come see it, check it out.
So, okay, so we move into the social media, and we can reach out that way. We can get the message out that way. But how to bring that grouping of people back in? We can. Yes, you can go online and you can watch the YouTubes and the Facebook stuff. But what is it? How do we move to that next step with the younger generation to where if it's Sunday morning, I want to sleep in late. What is? We don't have guilt to hook people to come in, all right? Okay, I mean, that's just a bottom line. But, what is it that's going to motivate? Because truly, when we come together in a group, there's a synergy that the group develops, and as a smaller center is beginning to grow, and if we bring younger people in, and more older people, but during that, and we don't call it a worship experience. We're not there to worship. We're there to celebrate. Celebrate our spirituality, celebrate our connection with the divine. But during that process, there's an energy that synergy that takes place. But if you're not there to experience it,
Right.
you don't get to experience it, and so that doesn't work necessarily as an attraction. How do we pull? What do we do to get younger people through the door?
Why not even a second later service during the day, a
Yeah.
celebration, literally just a little bit later on a Sunday for all of us, school and work, and
Right.
sleep is important, and sometimes Sunday's the only day we have off.
And I think too, it's important. Like I was saying with the God word, not that necessarily, but to just put it out there, like you were saying, like it's the power within you. Have them see that it's really like, and then have them, once they get there, they can see the connection with divine, as you said, or whatever whatever their God is or how they believe, to see that. But I think just to promote it that way, like with a lot of inspirational
That it
way,
starts
like to
with
see,
you,
just
that
like,
they
okay,
have the- you
this,
have the
like,
power,
they
you
get
have the
me,
choice.
like they understand.
Right.
But I will be honest, when I do see God, or if I see I do kind of step back and I start questioning. Okay, well maybe I'll go. I don't know, So maybe you could do it that way. I think maybe
So,
just like by someone's.
maybe.
So have them-
And a lot of centers, the reference to God oftentimes is spirit, source, universal intelligence,
Right.
many
So
other
many
different names that are used. But, when we got younger people, what about like classes and stuff? Things to, where you could come, what would be a
that's
good,
fun.
and
Anything not called a class.
anything not called a class? Okay, workshop or...
I like work. I mean, I personally,
Yeah.
I would go to a class. I'm all about self improvement. So
That's
anything
fair. There
that
are
would,
lots- yeah.
like I
Yeah.
would be like, just things that we go through as, you know, in our, I mean, everyone goes through, but like breakups and things, how to like just have self-worth, and maybe classes like that to really find the value of you, and finding that through spirituality, or finding, I know I would be interested in anything
Right,
that's
and-
really about like helping develop my emotions.
And maybe even specifically, like, I mean, take a page out of, I hate to say it, but youth group, but not necessarily a youth group, but
Young
a
adult.
workshop or a class for, you know, young
Young
adults
adults.
specifically. So it's, you're not going to go hang out with your grandma's friends, maybe. That's going to push them,
Well,
you know?
let's talk about that when we come back. We're going to take our next break, and we'll see you then.
This segment brought to you by Tioga Sequoia Brewery. Central Valley Talk is fueled by Tioga Sequoia Brewery in downtown Fresno.
Sunshine Natural Health in Tulare, California is your source for nature's best remedies. Call Sunshine Natural Health at 559-688-2063 and get healthy. There's a better way to optimize productivity and quality of life at work. Call High Point Consulting today and harness the power of your vision. Create your better way at highpointconsulting.net.
Foundations School of Discipleship educates young people in the knowledge of God and in understanding His ways. We instruct students in a balance of personal discipleship, academics, and hands-on ministry training. Foundations School of Discipleship. Need raisins? Call National Raisin Company at 559-834-5981 or online at nationalraisin.com. Maintain your independence with the caring support of an entire community at Cedar Creek Senior Living. For more information, call 559-673-2345.
Come help heal mind, spirit, and body. Treat yourself to the healing experience of Reiki. Classes available. My job depends on ag. Does yours? Join the Facebook group with over 35,000 members whose jobs depend on ag every day. My job depends on ag.
Century 21 agent Julie Gherkin comes from a family with over 50 years experience in real estate. If you're looking for a home or a property in Oakhurst, Bass Lake, or Mariposa County, call Julie Gherkin with Century 21, 559-641-2827.
Contact Maria or Daniel at Rustic Pallets for your customized tile and woodwork. Visit www.rusticpallets.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Well, welcome back. It's New Thought Talk. I'm your host, the Reverend Steve Walling from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera. And my guest again for today is Jessica Knotts and Stephanie Wilson. And we're talking about younger people, or young people in the, you know, coming into or connecting with the New Thought movement and stuff. And as we were breaking away to the last commercial, we were talking about classes or workshops. And off camera, I asked the ladies, how does an older minister, because oftentimes when I'm talking about smaller centers where, you know, the ministers may be not quite young, maybe they're old, but how do they work with, relate with, or, you know, in a workshop or that type of environment with younger people so that they make that connection?
Right.
So we're not looking at, well, that's just the old guy up there doing the old guy thing, or old gal, whatever it is.
Well, right. It's a lot about reminding them that you were them once. You're not just the old guy up there. You were their age. You made the same mistakes. You had the same feelings. And we talked about the social media aspect, and I mean just, you know, a little bit about who you are, letting people know you as a person as opposed to the Reverend.
Yeah.
Is huge. Photos from when you were younger. Incorporate stories about your life when giving speeches and talking about lessons and life lessons and sharing how you got through things that we are going through right now.
Absolutely.
And reminding us that you were us once, that you know what we're going through to a certain extent, and this is where you are now.
Absolutely. I think too, when you come, you know, with our younger generation, if we go to something like this, a lot of us, I mean, I'm 25 and I know that sometimes I feel lost. Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? And I'm not necessarily trying to go somewhere to be lectured on, you know, so exactly what she says. I mean, relate, you know how it is to be 25 and that kind of, or in
I have
between
no
your
idea.
Never.
to feel a little confused and like, you're trying to figure out your path and we're trying to figure out our way. And I think that's just really important that they know that you understand, we're all a little lost sometimes.
Yes.
And, maybe here's a little direction if you're interested.
Okay, so, and that'll work in the workshops, but how about the Sunday experience, the celebration? The old traditional paradigm that, and truth be told, whether you're in Christian churches or, other organizations, or even in a lot of the New Thought churches and centers, they still use the basic, what I'll call the kind of church paradigm, Sunday celebration paradigm. And maybe that paradigm doesn't work so much anymore. Maybe and music, of course, can be very involved, and you have some of the larger churches and stuff that have a very good music component to them.
Right.
But how about the Sunday message from the minister? Stephanie, you mentioned something about being lectured to. As a younger person, when you come in on Sunday, do you want to hear the minister give you a Sunday lesson, or what kind of experience are you looking for?
That's a good question. What I would like is, more of like a mind-opening experience to give, have more ideas, to be more informed. I think right now, just because I haven't been to too many, or so I'd like to be more informed. When it gets too preachy, or like it's where I kind of stop paying it, like giving it my full attention. And but just give me some more information. Like the way we talk is, that inspires me. So I think you do a great job.
Thank you. I'm going to give you a book. I want you to. No. How about you, Jess?
I think honestly, I don't know, maybe try. I agree with Stephanie. When it feels a lot like church, like what you said, like the same basic structure, then it just feels like going to church. If there was, right, the music is always a huge aspect, of course. But, do something like turn your center or the space that you meet in. It's an art gallery. You come into an art gallery and there's comfy chairs and you hang out and meet everybody in a social aspect before you sit down for whatever you're going to do. And then you feel a little more comfortable, at ease, and not, where am I? Am I supposed to be here? Who is this guy talking? Is everyone staring at me? Am I doing the right thing? You kind of have already mingled and seen and watched people interact with each other before you sit down to enjoy time together.
And I'm sure if you introduced yourself, too, that's like
And
such
people,
a personal level.
right?
And they're like, oh, he's a great
Especially the
guy.
younger
We met him."
generation,
Absolutely.
not having to fear showing up late and being stared at like when you were a
Absolutely.
child going into church. But to know that even if you're 5 minutes late, well, the first 15
You're
minutes
welcome.
is reserved anyways for mingling and talking, and so not everyone's gonna turn and stare at you.
That's not a bad idea.
I thought something, a little something.
Well, that's definitely an idea. The old paradigm it's not working anymore. That's true. What
Big
about
shift.
the presentation of the Sunday message? Because a lot of times in New Thought, Science of Mind churches and centers, the message obviously is going to be uplifting, personally empowering, because that's what we believe. But is that enough? Is it just to come and hear a personally empowering message, or do you want more substance where maybe there's like some meditation involved, visualization involved, maybe there's a teaching of some tools where you go over stuff not just during the workshop, but during the Sunday service itself, the celebration, if it becomes almost more of like, I'll use the phrase hands-on for you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think
Anything that keeps us from getting bored.
Absolutely. With our generation, too, you see, I grew up, on a computer, always stimulated, so I
Instant
love being
gratification is a
stimulated.
huge thing
right.
for our
So if I'm just
generation.
sitting there listening, I start wandering off. But if I'm having to do hands-on or even meditation, I think absolutely, and I think that's switching up the Sunday. I think that would work.
What about congregational singing? Does that, I know that's kind of old church paradigm, but if the song has the right energy, if You know, you clap and sing, because some people don't like that. You know, some people get it, you know, they don't want to stand up, they don't want to sing. You know, how does that feel to you one way or another?
I mean, I'm all about singing and
Yeah.
getting up, so I don't, who wouldn't?
I think more often than not, with our younger generations, music is a huge aspect of our lives. It really, really is, especially with such easy access to it from all over the globe, and we use it for everything. And you see us all with earphones, earbuds
Spotify,
stuck in our
Pandora.
ears, and yeah, I think that the congregational singing, I think honestly the majority will just jump right in there.
And they may
Or
feel
sing quietly
uncomfortable
if
at
they're-
first, but it's, you know, that's just, being
Yeah.
reserved.
People will join in the crowd,
Exactly.
generally speaking.
So we're looking at maybe a little later time during the day, maybe ramping up the energy a little bit, but more casual.
Yes.
Okay, little more hands-on-y type of thing. Maybe there's more
like that.
tools to be given in the celebration. But if we make it later in the day, okay, and one of the complaints that I've heard about doing that is, well, let's say we make it at 12, 12:30, even 1 o'clock. Well, when I'm done, my Sunday's shot. You know, by the time I go and we do it's 1, 2 o'clock, and I get home, it's 3 o'clock, and then my day is winding down, got to start, prepping for dinner and doing whatever tomorrow. How does that?
Maybe honestly,
Yeah,
keep your celebration. And you do it at 10:30 in Madera on
I do it at 10:30.
on Sundays, right? Keeping your celebration there and having it recorded or put through onto YouTube the rest of the day, or even maybe later in the day. And then you get, if you air it, if you air the celebration on Sunday that you had at 10:30, if you air that, say at 12:31 in the afternoon, then that gives all those kids that are sleeping in and have homework to do, they get that option and they get to see that, and then maybe they schedule, okay, hey, I'm not going to go out this particular Saturday night because I want to go see this. And they know, but if you give them something to watch and to see and to, in the privacy of their own homes where they don't have to be out of their comfort zone yet, you show them what they can be a part of and what you're about, I think most of them will make the choice to show up.
Okay, what is it that I want to show them to
Exactly
strike that
what New Thought is. You create,
Yeah, I think exactly.
you have within
That's what
you
fooled me.
everything
Yeah.
you need to live the life that you want.
See, Jessica, one of the things that, because I have taken the time to speak with ministers across the country, I've seen a lot of the studies, the demographics, and people have moved away from New Thought just like Old Thought.
Right.
But at the same time, I've also noticed, and this is one of my personal things, is New Thought has shifted its message. Not that it doesn't have the foundational message that it always had, but it was like, I don't know if it was to, kind of pull in the baby boomer generation, but New Thought in a lot of ways has moved to what I commonly refer to as love and light, away from the message of personal empowerment, your connectedness with Source. Now, that's not to say that the love and light is not, it feels good, okay? And it can be, a spiritually uplifting experience, but it really wasn't our message to begin with. Our message was the personal empowerment, the connectedness with Source, our spirit, or God, whatever you want to call it, our ability to create happiness in our own lives. There's a healing message there,
Yes.
to
The
live
science.
healthfully, successfully, joyfully. You have the power within you to make that kind of thing. And I think oftentimes a lot of sinners have kind of moved from that as their substance to let's all have a Sunday feel-good experience. And that's why I was asking earlier, about what are you looking for in the Sunday?
The science.
Science.
Talk about the science.
Yeah.
That's what gets us. The science is the proof.
Yeah.
Right,
The science
because we
is the
we
guarantee.
believe in that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whether your source is God or your source is science, the point is that source that we're all connected is God, if that's what you
Yeah.
choose, but it is 100% science. It is the energy within the atoms that make up every single human being on the planet. And that energy never dies and it never dissipates, and it moves and touches everything in the rest of existence. Scientifically proven.
Absolutely. And I think, you know,
That resonates with a lot of us. There is
Does it?
solid proof right here that we are all connected, and that's the
But
source.
that's not
and
real
that's
spiritual.
It is, though. It is, though.
But that's...
Especially for us.
yeah, 'cause
Science
we
is
find it within ourselves.
Our
too. I mean,
spirituality,
that's-
and you can't separate science from spirituality in these newer generations. It
Yeah.
doesn't. There's no
Right.
longer a separation. They have to go hand in hand. We are no longer ignoring dinosaurs.
And I think so many
existence.
people
We're not- I
think
know.
about, you know, like Catholicism, I mean, any, you know, just because I'm Catholic, that's why my opinion. But a lot of people say, well, why would I listen to that if there's so many, like, you know, our society has changed so much, but no rules have changed. None of the, it hasn't changed.
Rules
And it
written
should.
for 2,000 years ago should not apply
it
today.
Should, I mean, and I think this is, I just think people just need to be informed about it. I think coming from a Catholic background and being a part of that Catholic lifestyle, I mean, going, you know, confirmation, all that for up till I was 18, you know, and I think that's why I've always missed having something since then. But I just didn't know what. I didn't
Right.
know how I would get there.
Where
But
to
this
find
makes a
it.
lot of sense to me.
Okay.
You know.
I'm going to kind of now lay a little different tack on you. We get the science part, I understand. But what if I begin to talk about the individual that we call Jesus, the master teacher, and what he taught? Not what the church now teaches about him, but let's look at the things that he actually taught and present it in that way. Okay, where I'm talking about Jesus. I'm talking about, you know, I'm quoting the things that he taught. Okay, but they're very empowering.
Yes.
You know, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yes.
I mean, is that not the ultimate tool for getting along in life?
100%.
You know, when you pray, and that's a whole nother topic, but when you pray believing, okay, you can expect to see what you're praying about. These types. How does that resonate with you?
I like that because it's not necessarily saying this is the way you should live, but this is how, you know, whether you believe, you know, or whatever you believe in, but Jesus, you just talk about the story and what he implemented or what he preached and kind of show like what worked, you know what I mean? And I think it's giving ideas to us. I don't necessarily think it's telling us, you need to live this way, you need to do that.
No,
It's
and I
saying-
think Stephanie would probably agree with me. The Catholic, or, you know, I had a little bit of Baptist background in there, and that is, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Christ.
Right,
There
absolutely.
is, I mean, my issues with whatever religious path or focus or dogma involved have nothing to do with the man that was known as Jesus Christ. The teachings are obviously infinite.
I mean,
Like,
no one
there's-
can deny that.
no
that's
one can
amazing.
deny the
Exactly.
teachings are the teachings. And I think absolutely when you say, like you did, the master teacher, when he's described as the master teacher and not the end all to be all of all in existence,
And all our, yeah, exactly.
it makes he's much
The
more
language.
personable. There's something you can touch him, tangible, feel
Right.
on. Yes, I like that.
Okay, well, we got to cut away. This is our last break. We're
Okay.
blowing through this show. Can't believe it. We'll have to have them back some other time. But we're going to cut away to our commercial, and we'll be back.
Letty Pingatore focuses on the unique needs of each client. Call Letty if you need a realtor in the Central California area. Looking outside the CenCal area, Letty will refer you to the best Keller Williams agent nearest you. Letty Pingatore, Realtor Extraordinaire.
Here at Central Valley Talk, we've chosen Select Business Systems to provide for our copy, print, and scanning needs. We used to think it was cheaper to purchase our own toner and maintain our own office equipment. But now, with the expertise and experience of Select Business Systems, our office workflow is running at peak performance, saving our company time and money. They've truly set us up with our new Sharp multifunction copier, streamlining our office with the press of a button. To find out how you can improve your office technology, call Select Business Systems at 446-0123 or visit their website at selectsharp.com.
Looking for work? Tired of minimum wage? For as low as $200, become certified as a forklift driver at the Certified Forklift Training Center. Call 559-325-8097 or visit cftc.net.
No matter what you drive, sooner or later you're going to need tires. That means you. It's Wheel King, your custom wheel and tire headquarters for over 20 years. Hundreds of custom wheels and tires in stock all the time. Shocks, brake jobs, alignments, and lowering done the right way. The King has got you covered.
Inside the wheel, see the King. No one else can get attention.
Call 225-KING. Blackstone, just off the Shaw. It's Wheel King.
Hiring great talent is essential to your business. However, it's also time-consuming, and time is money. Contact Wolf Recruiting of Fresno and gain access to candidates you will not find on the open job market. Candidates through Wolf Recruiting are considered the best of the best. Why? Because they're gainfully employed. Whether it's technology, accounting, sales, or general administration, Wolf Recruiting's versatile background brings a solid foundation to confidentially identifying the very best talent. Call Wolf Recruiting at 877-589-9441 or find us on the web at wolfrecruiting.com.
If you're in the ag business, you need a pet tiger on your payroll. Visit TigerJill.com to learn more about Orange Enterprises' complete payroll tracking system, Pet Tiger.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back. It's New Thought Talk. I'm your host, Steve Walling, Reverend from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera, and my guests for today's show, Jessica Knotts and Stephanie Wilson. And we've been talking about younger generations and New Thought. In the last segment, as we broke away, we were talking about the teachings, what we share in New Thought of who we call the Master Teacher Jesus. And we also talk about the Buddha, Lao Tzu, and many, many others that, kind of fleshes out this whole spiritual experience. Stephanie, what are you specifically looking for in your life as a spiritual experience? Now that we've talked about it a little bit, you've thought about it a little bit, for you, something that for your spiritual path, what are you looking for that you believe would really bring you into that which you want to see?
I think I'm just looking for, to find out truly how to be happy. I think, to like what you say, just to kind of find out my self-worth, find out how I can help myself. And I think when I was younger, I didn't really understand. I just, I would pray, but I really didn't understand like the understanding of like how much it has to do with me. And I think I'm just looking for, just more information. I think what you just said, how you talked about the Master Teacher Jesus, Buddha. I think that's great that you talked, you touch all about it. So it's not just one. And I think, that, truthfully, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to feel like, to miss that little spot that I've missed since I've left the Catholic Church. It may just be custom, it may be, but I feel like ever since I left, there's been something missing.
What about a commitment to daily spiritual practices? Does that kind of...
Absolutely. It's just one of those things that I have to remind myself. And, I get so caught up with school, work, friends, life, that I forget. And it's one of those things that at my age, I really have to make a conscious effort to be spiritual. And I just, I truly believe, though, if I'm a good person, and that's what I want to be, I just want to be a good person who does good things and projects that out to other people. And people, leave the world a little better than, I can.
Most we can hope for.
What about you, Jessica?
No, right on. I mean, honestly, it is. The Master Teacher Jesus, the way you say that, and the way you think about it, most of us coming from the old thought religions, our very first experience with them were Sunday schools. And they don't talk to you about hell in Sunday schools. They teach you about Jesus and how he loves everything and how you should love everyone. And it's all about love, and he's this wonderful father figure that loves you no matter what. And I have missed that forever. I have missed that feeling, that before we were taught the guilt and the fear and the consequences. That was my very first experience. And this really, that it allows me to have that idea of a warm, fuzzy, all-knowing being that loves me no matter what, without
But in a
being
different
afraid that I'm
perspective.
not good enough for that being. It's all the good things that I got from my old thought religions without any of the really ugly negative aspects. That's why it resonates
And
with
I
me
think
so
like
much.
what you were saying, like you want that, and what you realize is that you, like you said, you have it within you. And it's, I think when I was a kid, it was all about, like I just didn't understand it. Like I understood Jesus, but it was like everything was up to him. Like he decided my life.
Right.
And what I realize is that I truly, like, the things I choose to do and the way I choose to treat people really reflects,
Is
and it
what
comes
the
back
effect-
right.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's what your life
and
is.
I like the fact that, like Jessica was saying, the master. I think that just opened my eyes completely, and I like how you take different perspectives, because I don't think
Because
there's
they all
a
have the
lot of
same
master
message.
teachers. Exactly.
It doesn't matter who these people
Exactly.
were.
And
It
they're
matters
all
what their
these master
message is, and
teachers,
it's all
and I
the
think
same.
that ultimately, I mean, I would like to follow in a lot, all their footsteps in that sense of doing
Right.
what they believe.
So we're getting towards the end of the show. In the younger generation community, do you think there's a large component in that community that really is searching for a spiritual connection, that's looking for a spiritual home, or do you think really that it's more individualized, that, if I can hook up with Super Soul Sunday and Facebook and YouTube, what we've talked about, that I'm good? What do you think?
I personally think that they might not know that they're looking for spirituality,
that exact same
but
thing.
they're missing something. And I
Yeah.
know it with a lot of my friends. It's just something's
You can
missing,
see it.
and they don't know what it is. So they try to do other things to compensate for these feelings of missing something. When truthfully, like I said, I'm all about inspirational quotes, and I'm about reading, and I love self-help, and I love bettering myself. And I think that if we just, even Jesse and I, if we talk to people about it and we open people, and it might not be the first time, but the second or third time, they get more, and they start hearing these things, or they watch us on today, and they can get more ideas.
Yeah, no, it is exactly what Stephanie was saying. I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I think most of, our younger generations, our friends especially, are searching and searching and searching because there's something they feel is missing. They're not aware that it's the spiritual part, that it's
Because they're
it's something
so
that's
focused
innate.
on
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
in us, whether we like it or not. It's there, and we need that. And even if that's your spirituality is that you believe in the energy of the atoms in your body.
Exactly.
Like your spirituality is the science of the makeup of the whole world. You still need that. You have to have that. We're just programmed with it. We're not
Okay.
whole without it.
We're going to be closing up here in a minute. How would you articulate that if you were talking to that audience out there that we're talking about?
I wasn't just doing that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought I was.
No, go ahead and look at the camera and talk to them as if you're speaking to someone that is, well, I'm kind of interested in what you're talking about. What would you say?
I get kind of interested in what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I would say that try it out then look it up, then read something about it. You don't have to leave your house, you don't have to share it with anybody, you don't have to embarrass yourself in any way, but it will, no matter who you are, it will resonate with you. It will work, and you don't have to believe in a dogma. You don't have to believe in a God, as God is called. You can believe in anything you want. It's the main message of love, kindness, respect, and treat yourself with everything that you want to be treated with. Treat other people the same way. It's a basic human principles for a good moral life without hard, solid rules with consequences. The only consequences are those that, you create. If you screw up, you're going to have consequences. If you don't, you don't. That's life, but it's all up to you.
Anything you want to add to that, Stephanie?
I would say, yeah, absolutely. I would say, if you're feeling like you're missing something, give it a chance, and don't necessarily look at it as, this organized religion, and don't be scared by the word God or by spirituality. I think that, if you start, like Jessica said, don't tell anyone about it. Read it, look into it. You're going to start realizing that you do have the power to change your reality. And I think that's ultimately, if everyone knows and can have those tools,
Yes,
they're
why
going to
not?
start. They're going to start to really.
Ladies, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Yes,
Stephanie,
thank you for having
Jessica,
us.
thank you for
Thanks
being
We'll
here.
have to come back.
Yeah, we'll do it again. I like this because we need that younger consciousness, because we need to have people that can resonate with that. It's a strong message. So anyway, it's about that time. We're going to be closing things down here in a minute. If you've been watching this show online, I want to refer you to a couple of links where you can make connections. If you want to do that in your home before you go out and discover the wonderfulness of New Thought, religious science in the world, and what's available to you, you can look it up on the computer. You can go to newthoughtlibrary.com, and there you'll find a whole bunch of books that are online. They're free. They're the early pioneers of New Thought thinking, and so you can get a lot of foundational information there. And once you get really inspired and you decide you want to find that center that's out and about near you, you can go to findacenter.com. And at findacenter.com, pretty much any center or New Thought church in the world that they know about, they have a listing. It is a directory site, and they don't charge the centers to be listed there, and they try to make sure that they have all the centers that are available to you, so you have a place where you can go and maybe find a spiritual home for yourself. And so I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did today. We got some good information from these young ladies. I'll see you when we come back. Remember, as you go through your week, that the light of God surrounds you, and the love of God enfolds you, and the power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you, because truly, wherever you are, God is there, and all is well. Blessings, my friend. We'll see you when we come back.
For all your life insurance needs, Central Valley Talk recommends our good friend Clint Cartridge. Give Clint a call at 559-478-0425.
Get a gray water recycling system for only $3,595. That's a 10% discount available only through Central Valley Talk. Reserve yours now for only $150. Your deposit is refundable and applies towards your purchase. Easy financing available through the California First program at californiafirst.org. Save more water and call now. 1-800-604-6848.
Make your moments more memorable with delectable treats from Frosted Cakery, located at 1292 North Washon in Fresno, California.
Support Angels of Grace. Attend the Luau of Love Saturday, September 26th at Arte Americas. For more information and tickets, go to angelsofgrace.com. Flowers and More, Bullard and Marks in Fresno. Call 440-0920 or visit thefresnoflorist.com.
Before you buy or sell your home, be sure to call Team Majors.
Hi, I'm Christine Majors, and I've helped hundreds of families move into their first homes, and now's the time to buy.
But what about my credit, Christy?
Any FICO score can be helped with a little bit of time and a little direction.
And what about down payment?
There are down payment assistance programs available to most buyers out there.